Shipping tracker websites show us that some vessels have been managing to get through the Strait of Hormuz between Iran and Oman. Since the start of the US and Israeli attacks on Iran, hundreds of cargo ships and tankers have not wanted to take the risk. You can see both on shipping trackers and in satellite imagery how vessels have formed in clumps on either side of the strait. But look at this ship, a Greek crude oil tanker, the Shenlong. On the 4th of March, the shipping tracker Marine Traffic picked up its position, but then the data from its AIS, or Automatic Identification System, completely vanished.
This is what we call a dark activity, or an AIS transmission gap. And so the vessel is what we call dark for a period of time.
5 days later, it switched its AIS transponder back on the other side of the narrow strait, before continuing its journey to Mumbai.
Of course, this is very risky, so only a few vessels are doing this on a daily basis.
This graph shows how, even though traffic through the strait has massively reduced, some vessels are transiting. Now take a look at this ship, the Iron Maiden, sailing under the flag of the Marshall Islands. Right before it entered the narrowest part of the strait on March the 5th, according to Lloyd's list, it changed its signal to say that it was Chinese-owned.
They are, potentially entering this information to dissuade them from, being attacked by Iran. So it could be a tactic that they're using to signal to the IRGC that, they have nothing to do with the US or Israel, for example.
And in spite of heavy US sanctions, there is evidence that Iranian tankers are managing to sneak through as well. This is the Danuta 1, a tanker carrying liquefied petroleum gas. This marine traffic time-lapse shows it heading towards Iran on March the 5th. A day later, you see it leaving the strait before its signal goes dark.
Part of the Iranian fleet is obviously trying to export Iranian crude out of the region to buyers in, for example, India and China, who are consuming this crude oil from Iran.
There is something else going on too. Military jammers are scrambling GPS signals so ships can be seen forming strange shapes or jumping around when in fact they're barely moving at all.
And so this is what's called GPS spoofing. And this is caused by military operations, electronic warfare on all sides.
Most vessels, though, are not daring to run the gauntlet. We spoke to someone on board a stranded ship off the coast of Dubai. He didn't want to disclose his exact location, but told us the crew was awaiting evacuation. For more coverage, visit businessinsider.com.